Hey, YouTube world, Ed Kirkpatrick. Got a story for you tonight. Yep. Years ago, had a buddy. We still around. Can't read or write, and yeah. And I run into him. Like I said, this years ago. This is in the late '70s. I ran into him at the store. Asked him how it was going, and he said, "Got a problem." I said, "What is it?" He said, "My driver's license expired." I said, "Well, just go to the state patrol office." He said, "You know I can't read and write." I said, "Well, how you get your license the first time?" He said, "When I was 16, I was working on the farm and I was driving the dump truck and tractor, and the guy that working for, he took me down to the state patrol office and said, I need to get this boy a license. He's helping me on the farm, and they just give me a license." He said, the guy held up 1, 2, 3 fingers, make sure I could see. But I got to take a test, and driving test, eye test, and a written test. I said, "I can't do that." And I said, "Well, maybe we can work something out." I said, "What you doing tomorrow?" And he said, "Nothing particular." Why? I said, "Well, I can take you to out there state patrol office. We'll see about getting your license." He said, "Yeah, you do that?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do that. We'll give it a try." So I picked him up. We went out there, and that's the way it was back in those days. The Georgia State Patrol, they was the one that did licensing, for driver's license. It was years later when they came up in the Department of Motor Vehicles. But anyway, kind of set the scene for you. Back in those days, there was probably one or two girls worked in the Georgia State Patrol office, handling phone calls, paperwork, what have you. And usually there was a man or two in there, and they was either on leave because they got hurt, and they kept them working, or either they had to discharge their thing there and was on suspension for 6 weeks while it was investigated. Well, anyway, or they just needed a break. They'd send them to the driver's license bureau of the Georgia State Patrol. So I picked Otis up, went out there, went in, and there's one little nice young lady there. Told her I was here to help him get his driver's license, and he's disabled. And she said, "Well, okay." She handed me a clipboard. You sit down here. So I filled the clipboard out on my buddy there. Said, "Just put an X right here." Took it back up there and gave it to her. She said, "Sergeant Smith will see you in just a few minutes." Okay. So sit back down there, and here comes Sergeant Smith. I have a side room door, and he's in a wheelchair. And he said, "I understand one of y'all's disabled and you need to get your driver's license." I said, "Yes, sir. It's my buddy right here. He can't read or write." "All right, y'all come with me." All right. So went with him. He wheeling himself around, kind of making, conversation, everything. Got back there. He said, "All right, you sit right here and you sit right here." And he got behind the desk and got out a couple pieces of paper there. He said, "All right." He said, you can't read or write anything?" He said, "No, sir." He said, I mean, I know what a red light and a green light does, and, I know when I see a stop sign or a yield sign, I learned all that, but I can't, no, sir, I can't read. He said, well, I've got to give you this test, but I can give it to you orally. So he laid the piece of paper down there in front of him, gave him the pencil. He says, I got a copy right here. I'm going to read the question to you, and you circle whether it's A, B, C, or D. And my buddy said, he looked at me and he grinned, he kind of looked, and I said, sir, he just said, he don't know what A, B, C, and D is. And old Sergeant Smith made kind of grumbly, but then he said, okay, I know how we can do this. He said, here, Mr. Kirkpatrick, you take the pencil and you take the paper. I'll read him the question. He says whether it's A, B, or C, or D, and then you circle it. We'll do it like that. I said, okay. Thinking to myself, now we got a fighting chance. Yep, I'm in control. So he sat there, read out the first question, about what do you do? I don't remember all the questions, but anyway, this is just pick one, A, B, C, and he said, up, B. Yeah, I'm doing it. And if the answer was C, and Otis said B, I circle C. So anyway, we get the test done and handed the papers to Sergeant Smith. He said, boy, he was close, wasn't he? But I don't think he got it. I said, I think he got it. I think he's quick by. So I listen and I do this, I just don't think he. I said, well, we'll find out, won't we? He said, yeah, we'll find out. He sat there, he graded the test, turned around and said, I ain't believing this. I said, what? I said, he made 100. There ain't no, not what he was saying. And then he just kind of froze there for a second. He looked over at Otis and he looked at me. He said, all right, we got this part done. You passed. Come on, we got to go get your picture and we're going to get your license. He turned around and looked at me and just kind of winked. I said, thank you, Sergeant Smith. So, yeah. He took his little mug shot. And back then they give you a little piece of paper. They'd mail you the card. Nowadays I think you can get a laminated card right there with your fingerprint and mugshot and probably your QR code on the back with your YouTube channel or website. Think about it. Anyway, God bless y'all. Thanks for stopping by. I thought I'd tell y'all that story. It's a true story too. Yeah, it just hit me today when I saw my old buddy again. He makes sure he gets his license renewed before it runs out nowadays. He does. Anyway, God bless. Ed Kirkpatrick. It was story time. Thank you for stopping by. Adios.